If you've ever traveled to a foreign country, you'll be familiar with the following situation. Prior to entry, you have to go through passport control. You are checked over, and they make sure you have all the documents required for entry. You have to answer various questions. They want to know where you've come from, what you plan to do in the country, and what you're carrying in your baggage. The whole process is rather unpleasant, but you can't really complain, because these are the rules set by the country you're trying to enter. Only once everything has been checked are you given access to your destination. Well, we should bear in mind that one day we will also enter a foreign land, namely, when we arrive in the world beyond after our physical death. We, too, will then be treated as newcomers. And those who receive us will ask themselves the question, what has this new arrival brought with them? This is not a question of material possessions, but of the life that the particular individual led and the attitude they had. It is seen whether they believed in God and in a life after death, whether they treated other people with kindness, or whether they were concerned only with their own personal gain. One asks oneself whether this new arrival will be willing to integrate into their new environment. After all, in the world beyond, there is also a social order and a community into which we will have to integrate. This is something we learn from reports that have been given mediumistically. The lecture linked in the video description gives an account of the experiences had by a man after his arrival in the spiritual world following his death. During life, he and his wife had agreed that whoever died first would give the surviving partner a sign. This would prove that life goes on after death. They had discussed in detail what kind of signs they could give the other. Neither of them had really been convinced that life goes on. But, just in case it did, these signs would serve as confirmation. Well, the deceased man was first greeted by his parents and then received by higher spirit beings. The spirit beings already knew all about him and how he had lived his earthly life. This account, which was given mediumistically, goes on to reveal whether the deceased man managed to give his wife the signs they had arranged. Now a word on mediumistic messages. The spiritual world is always much closer to us than we imagine, but our material bodies act like a wall, separating us from our spiritual surroundings, and our physical senses are focused only on our material environment. Occasionally, however, there are small cracks through which we can catch a glimpse of spiritual reality. And there are also people who have a particular mediumistic ability that enables a connection with the world beyond. The aforementioned account was given through the well-known Swiss deep trance medium Beatrice Brunner on the 6th of June, 1973. You can read an English translation of this insightful account by following the link in the description.